Well, the turkey's been carved, presents unwrapped, and all the crackers have now been pulled. It's time for the Blaze to take centre stage as football's festive schedule seeks to provide some added cheer. And with Burnley not playing until tomorrow, there's an opportunity to join them at the top of the table this afternoon. Coventry City are Sheffield United's Boxing Day opponents right here at Bramall Lane. Kick-off is just under an hour away, and for all of the match pass information and broadcasting regulations for today's game, go to the club's website www.sufc.co.uk. Hello again, welcome inside the heart of Bramall Lane in our studio, and we hope you had a good festive celebration. But in true British sporting tradition, it's the sporting calendar that now takes centre stage on Boxing Day as the Blades entertain Coventry City. And I'm delighted to say for this afternoon's match, I'm joined by two familiar guests. First of all, wearing his Christmas jumper because he was told that's what we're doing today, it's our own little buddy himself, Carl Asaba. Great to have you with us, Carl.
Yeah, great to be in a Christmas jumper on my own. Great.
And alongside you, an SUTV live debutant, rather, Ben Osborne. Not on the pitch today, Ben, because of injury, but up here's got to be the next best option, hasn't it?
It's all right, yeah. It's not a bad view. Looking forward to it, yeah.
First of all, let's talk about the hamstring issue, because I believe it's not too serious.
No, it's related to an injury that I've had previously with my hamstring this season. Felt something just in training before the Wigan game. But again, it's only minor, and we're just looking to get to the bottom of it to make sure when I do get back in the next week or two that hopefully I'll be able to be available for the rest of the season.
Well, that's good news for us. I've got to ask you about the gentleman to your left, because he played in some great Sheffield United sides of yesteryear, but I'm not sure I ever saw any of you guys donning a Buddy the Elf Christmas jumper.
No, we just did have our Christmas do, so there was a lot of effort gone into that, but yeah, no, I don't. I like it.
Thanks, Ben.
No
Thank you for that.
A little bit of love, Carl.
Yeah, well, just not mocking me, so I'm happy just not to be mocked.
Well, on the subject of not mocking you, Coventry City, today's opponents, you scored against them, didn't you, 20 years ago?
A few times, yeah.
A few times.
Nice one for the Blades, wasn't too bad.
Good goals?
Okay, it wasn't, against Coventry, not bad.
I have to ask you, because it will come as no surprise to let you know that we don't actually have them. But Carl likes to talk about his goals of yesteryear. It makes you feel better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And we're all about bringing festive cheer.
Yeah.
Okay, without further ado then, let's concentrate on today's game and take a look at the team news, which has just dropped for Sheffield United. Remember, it's 2 wins from 2 since coming back from that World Cup break. The most recent one being on the road, of course, at Wigan Athletic. And just the one change to the starting 11. Max Lowe comes in at left wing-back, replacing Ender Stevens, who drops down to the bench. One change on the bench, Daniel Jebberson's name is there. Ollie McBurney, with a slight aggravation, we're told, of an ankle injury, is the one to miss out. First of all, Ben, because Sheffield United have had issues through injuries this season down that left side. I think Jack O'Connell was here on one occasion saying that there were no less than 7 players, left-footed players, in that injury room. How good is it to see Max back there in the starting 11?
Yeah, it's great for him. Obviously, he had a bad injury. I think he was playing really well before he got injured as well. So, obviously, Ender's come back from quite a lengthy layoff as well. So he's played a few games on the bench. So I can understand why the gaffers chosen to put Max back in. He's a fit lad anyway. I'm sure he'll be up and down that left wing today. And
he was playing extremely well till he picked up that injury at Hull.
I thought he was outstanding. He really helped us have a two-pronged wing-back attack. He really got forward, and him and Boulders were really posing questions to the opposing fullbacks. Stevens is great. He's been playing really well. They play different ways, and the manager obviously wants to go more attacking with Lowe.
Just looking at our monitor here, all you can see when you see Carl is Santa. And he brings that larger-than-life character to the studio. You're not going to live this one down, mate.
All you can see is my belly. Brilliant.
Hey, look, I'm not going there. Let's have a look at the formation as we expect Sheffield United to line up today. No surprise, it's become very familiar now. Max Lowe's name stands out because he will give us that added pace down the left flank.
Yeah, he's a real threat. He was popping up all over the place. It gives their defenders another thing to consider to work on. where they can concentrate on Njai. If Lowe's not there down that channel, he's pushing up, and it just takes another body from their team away from our strikers.
How important, Ben, is it for balance? Because, I mean, you've played in that position this season. Even Redder's played there at one point as well. It has been a case at times of just trying to plug somebody in because of the injuries, to have someone naturally left-footed that's used to it, has familiarity and can give balance. How important is that when you look at the second half of the season now?
Yeah, it's massively important, especially with the formation that we play, 3-5-2. I think you want balance. Ideally, you want a left-footed centre-half playing left-footed centre-half. You want your wing-back to be natural in that position. I think we always look a better team when we do have, you know, people that are really comfortable in their strongest possessions. And I think looking at the team today, looks like we've got that.
Yeah, one other name that we should point out from there, nothing unfamiliar about Oliver Norwood in the heart of the engine room, but 450 league appearances. That's quite a landmark, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's testament to him how he goes about, you know, looking after his body, and very rarely gets an injury, touch wood. But yeah, it's been super consistent for a number of years now, and it's actually an unbelievable achievement to play that many games, and fair play to him.
Yeah, this will be his 181st appearance in the red and white shirt of Sheffield United, Carl. But time and time again, you look at the stats for completed passes, key passes, chances created, and it's Ollie Norwood's name that keeps appearing at the top of the list.
Yeah, he's if you were going to make your dream team in the Championship, it would start with him. You work the team around him, because he's just an incredible passer of the ball. He's got great vision, gets his foot you know, he tackles, he's everywhere, and he really does call the tune.
Well, 450 appearances is certainly a landmark not to be sniffed at, and it would have been inappropriate if we didn't catch up with the man himself to get his thoughts on today's game just before we came on air.
No, it's decent enough. Hopefully a lot more yet though to come. But yeah, obviously a good milestone, and hopefully we can get a win today to mark it off.
Yeah, the current age is still fairly young, 31. Another couple of hundred left there, isn't there?
I'd like to think so, yeah. Obviously, I've got a good record, good injury record, touch wood. So yeah, I'm enjoying my football. I'm loving every minute of it at the moment, and long may that continue. Like I say, hopefully I can play long into my 30s and 40, you never know.
It'd be good to celebrate with a win today, but over the last 2 or 3 occasions, Coventry have proved to be a tough nut to crack for the Blades.
Yeah, they're a very good side. You know, I like the way they go about it. I think they've got a very good team, good energy, good honesty about the team, some really good players as well. So we know it's going to be a difficult game this afternoon, so we're going to have to be at our best to get anything from it. Well,
the manager's already said ahead of this game he sees them as one of the toughest opponents in this division. What do they bring to the table?
Quite a lot, as I said, good energy, some good players technically. You know, the 2 number 10s they have, and obviously the number 9's a good player as well. So, and they're solid at the back. So we know it's going to be a difficult game. We've worked since the Wigan game, the past week, on how we think we can win the game, and hopefully we can put that into place out there. But we're expecting a tough afternoon, as always, in the Championship. And a sellout crowd here at the Lane to cheer you on. It's going to be a good one, isn't it? Yeah, very good. Obviously, the fans have been with us the whole of last season and this season. Well, since I've been here, the fans have been brilliant. So hopefully they can get right behind us, make some noise, and hopefully we can send them off with a nice Christmas present. Go well today. Thank you. The thoughts there of Oliver Norwood. Our thanks to him taking time to speak to us just before we came on air here on SUTV Live today. Of course, the last time we saw him and the Blades in action on the field was a week ago, straight after we'd seen the last of the World Cup games, that thriller between Argentina and France. It was Sheffield United travelling to Wigan, and they returned home with all 3 points.
2,000 plus Sheffield United fans in full voice as this championship encounter gets underway. First time Bolton fields a good one for McAtee. It's half a yard for the cross. That was Billy Sharp with the effort on his 350th Sheffield United appearance. Into the path of Berger, who's motoring here. Iliman Ndiaye still going, lovely feet, and Ndiaye saved by the feet of Jones, and the follow-up is blocked too from Berger. Will be a corner, will it, here for Sheffield United, the first of the night? Norwood's out, swing, oh, what a header that is! And it's John Egan, his first of the season, and Sheffield United hit the front through the Republic of Ireland international. Wonderful cross from Norwood, and Egan puts the Blades in front. Loose touch from Bennett. Quickly in is Sander Berger. Again, Sharp and Njai making their way into the penalty area. Might come to Njai here. Lovely feet. Can he get the shot away? He's got support. McAtee's shot blocked. Lovely back heel from Sharp. James McAtee for United. And Wigan get the second half underway. How many times are we going to say it? Given away by Wigan deep inside their own half. Billy Sharp, can he punish them? Billy Sharp, of course he can punish them. Nets his second in as many games on his 350th Sheffield United appearance. Sheffield United have a 2-goal advantage at the DW Stadium. Here's Arsgaard, had that shot. McLean, dangerous ball in, and Fotheringham palms it to Broadhead, who taps home, and Wigan are back in the game. Nathan Broadhead, cool finish inside the 6-yard area, and United's 2-goal advantage has been whittled down to 1. It is Norwood, it's over the wall, and it's just over the bar. That's the 5 minutes. Straight to Ollie Norwood. He's just going to run it up the pitch now.
Yes.
And there is the full-time whistle.
2-1 win then for the Blades, returning home with all 3 points. John Egan on the score sheet, and immediately after the game, we got his thoughts on the opposition and just the amount of ways Sheffield United are now needing to find to win games.
Yeah, you have to do that. Every game is different. Every game is tough, especially away from home. You know, they've got a new manager, so they've obviously had the new manager effect, and you know, they didn't stop working, didn't stop trying, you know, till the very end, and made it difficult for us at the end. So, you know, we managed to weather that storm, as I said, and get the 3 points, which is pleasing.
And I know you've scored for Ireland, but it's been a while. Nice to be back on the score sheet with the Blades, first time 15 months.
Definitely, been knocking on the door, to be honest. I should have had, I suppose, since the gaffers took over, I should have had about, well, a good few, a lot more than one. So yeah, it's nice to finally get on the score sheet, and you know, I need to try and get a few more now.
And is that the point for you in particular, that you and some of the others probably feel that you could get a few more goals with this team?
Yeah, listen, Ollie Norwood, everybody knows about his delivery. It's top class, so you know, we've no excuse. We need to, you know, get into the right areas and finish the chances when we get them.
Billy Sharp, another goal for him today, 2 in 2. You just can't keep him down, really.
Exactly. Everybody knows what he's about. You know, he's a goal scorer. End of his career, his record speaks for itself. You know, you give him a chance, he's more than likely going to take it. And you know, he's a leader too, so it's great for Billy to get 2 in 2 now. And you know, he's Billy Sharp. He's a goal scorer, and when he's on the pitch, he always has a chance of scoring.
And a perfect way to come back after the World Cup break with 2 wins from 2, and Steely with room to grow as well.
Yeah, listen, there's always room for improvement. I don't think we played our best for 90 minutes tonight, but we got the job done. You know, we know there's a lot of things that we can improve on and do better, but you know, the main thing is we got the 3 points, and you know, it's a tough place to come, especially with a new manager. So it's, you know, it's a good win.
So John Egan there giving us his thoughts immediately after that win over Wigan. Ben Osborne's alongside me. Interesting, Ben, that John there said it wasn't our best performance, but it doesn't really matter, does it, as long as you're keeping up the points?
I think away from home in the Championship, it's becoming more and more harder to like put your stamp on the game, it seems, and every game's so tight away from home. So I think when you get 3 points going anywhere, it's always a good result. That could have been more comfortable than it ended up being, but I think, you know, deep down we're probably confident that when we got the 2-goal lead, we probably could sit back a bit more, and they're not going to really get back into the game. Would have been nice to see it out a bit more comfortably, like I said, but no, it was a good result.
If we're being critical, Carl, is it, as Ben says there, that it could have been more comfortable? I mean, realistically, with the chances we created, that game could have been out of sight by half-time.
Yeah, the boys played really. There was a spell where they couldn't be matched. You know, Wigan couldn't get close to them, and they were playing great football and going waves and waves. A lot of teams have struggled to match our energy, and when we're on it, they were opening them up, and it could have been 3 or 4. As Ben said, it's unfortunate they weren't able to keep the clean sheet, and it made it more comfortable towards the end. But that was the Blades in second gear. You know, they're really, Ben included, a really, really talented group of footballers where they're not going to be matched that many times this season, and that really was the score flattered Wigan.
And Billy Sharp again, amongst the goals, that's 2 in 2 for him now, having had to wait all the way till December to actually get off the mark this season. If you throw an informed Billy Sharp into the mix as well, heck, he's spoilt for choice up front.
He's got great players. The goal previously was a wonderful finish, the left foot dink. But then that one, if you see the footwork in between the touch, once Ninjai plays it to him, Billy's feet are so quick, and then he set himself for a clean strike. He's a brilliant finisher. You know, all the records don't point to it. He's just so good, and he's up to speed now. He's had his 3 or 4 starts. Last season we saw it. After he got his 3 or 4 starts, he was really hard to play against.
It goes without saying that when you're winning games, confidence is high, Ben, but the number of times this season, be it through injuries or suspensions, we've seen a player miss out, another player steps in, and there doesn't really seem to be a drop-off in the level of performance in this team on the pitch. Have you experienced anything like the last 2 or 3 months in your career prior to this?
I think that it just goes to show how strong our squad is. I mean, you look at the bench today, obviously Loewy's come in for Ender, Bashi, Bogle, the whole bench. We've just got, options everywhere. So if we do need to rotate, we can do that. But also, if there is an injury or whatever, someone's coming in straight away and knows exactly their role.
Got to ask you about Iliman and Jai as well. Carl's made his thoughts both on this show and on BBC Radio Sheffield very clear how highly he rates him. It's one thing for us to rave about his performances from this vantage point. When you're on the pitch playing with him, what's he like?
Yeah, it just seems like he's getting better and better at the moment. I think his international experience is taking him to another level almost as well. Whether that's like self-belief that he can do it week in, week out. But yeah, I mean, his close control, his all-round game, he's got that, he's aggressive, he won't get bullied. He likes people coming to try and tackle him. That's what I always think. When people get near to him, his eyes will light up and he'll get out of a tight situation. I think this is the one here, look. It's just...
Well, yeah,
that's when he's at his best, when the defenders make his mind up for him. And that's what the Championship try and do. They'll try and get tight to him. But he's, again, now he's adding goals and assists to his game. And you're comfortable giving him the ball.
You were doing comments for Radio Sheffield during this game at Wigan, Carl, and that drag back we've just seen there. I heard you go, wow, and then you chuckled. You could dream of doing something like that in your day, couldn't you?
I wouldn't dream of that, because I know I'd trip over. He's just incredible. His body, whether other players are feeling, because he's quite slight, he's not strong, his body weight and strength is like an ant. They come near him and then they're bouncing off him. And his close control, the way he drags the ball on the sole of his foot and pushes it, he's just a joy. For me, as an old player who didn't have that talent, he's a joy to watch.
Joint leading scorer for the Blaze this season with 9 alongside Ollie McBurney. Ben's just mentioned his World Cup experience there as well. He can only get better, can't he? Which is scary if you're an opponent.
Well, the thing for me this season, he looks like he believes in himself. And he believes how strong he is, and he's getting into the areas of whether he's working really hard with Jack Lester, he's getting in the goal scoring areas. When he's not involved, he knows where to go, and he's just looking more and more complete week in, week out.
Has he got better for that first full season under his belt last year? I mean, physically he looks stronger and seems to have grown in stature, Ben.
Definitely. Like, we've seen glimpses in training for years of his ability. Obviously, when you first come into first team football, you don't really dominate the games like he is doing now straight away. It does take a while to, I don't know whether it's dealing with the crowd or playing in front of people or just the pace of the game and how competitive it is. So he's had a full season and it looks like he's just thriving in it, and you're really seeing his potential.
Absolutely, and we hope to see more of that potential on show for everyone to witness here this afternoon against Coventry. Let's take a look at the Championship table at the start of today. Sheffield United, you see there at exactly the midway point of the season, just 3 points behind Burnley, who we took care of handily here not many weeks ago at Bramall Lane. Blackburn Rovers have been playing in an early game today, so too have Watford. If my information is correct, they've both dropped points, which is all good news for the Blades. We in the studio, Ben, all season long have been comparing the starts of this season to last. Obviously, it's been a lot better this time around. And given the way you finished last season, how much confidence does that give you? Or is it really a case of you're only 23 games in and it means nothing right now?
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of carried on where we left off last season form-wise. So we know we can do it for a long period of time and keep it up. But it is only halfway through, and a lot of, I think I've seen a stat today, 12 managers have changed in the Championship. So, you know, you're coming up against a different set of teams and different identities at some games. So, still loads of work to do. But, you know, we've certainly got a good chance.
It's a long old season, isn't it, Carl? I think your best season here with Sheffield United, 02-03. You had 2 long cup runs, League Cup and FA Cup semi-finals. Got to the, as it was then, First Division playoff final rather than Championship. 46 league games, add cup games into it. December's a long way from home.
It's a long, long way. But for me, I look at it that, well, we played half the matches and we're that good. So you shouldn't be overawed or worried that you know if you can play to how you have in you and you have before, you've got a good chance of going on. Don't take anyone for granted, but just have a self-belief that, well, we're good enough on merit. Let's take a look at the recent form for the Blades then over the last 5 games. The one result that stands out is that 1-0 home defeat, of course, to Rotherham, coming as it did off the back of a thrilling win over Burnley. But 4 wins, a number of clean sheets in there as well. If you're looking for pointers, they're all looking up. Yeah, and the bench is only getting stronger, and the players are only getting fitter. You know, the boys who are coming back on the bench. That's where I look at our opponents today, and their first 11 is a really strong team, but whether they've got the depth to deal with the injury crisis that we have, that's where I think they're fall short, and where we've been able, the manager's done a wonderful job in being able to get teams out to get the points. What have the players learnt about themselves? There was a blip in October. I know there were a number of mitigating circumstances with injuries to the squad, Ben, but to bounce back from that, again, these are stepping stones on the road, aren't they?
Yeah, I think when we did have that bit of a blip, we were losing games by the odd goal. Thought we were still performing quite well. Sometimes when it's 50-50, it might not always go your way in this league, but I think you know, the Burnley game here was a big one. I think we were 2-1 down there as well, but we felt like we were, you know, the better team by a long shot. And I think even Norwich before that, I think we deserved to probably win, and they're supposed to be one of the better teams, but it felt pretty comfortable. So we knew it was only going to be a matter of time before results did start turning, and then thankfully we're on a bit of a good run now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a sellout crowd then here today for the visit of Coventry City, and that bears testament to just how important this club is to the local community. Leading up to Christmas, a number of the players, including Ben here on my left, visited a number of the club's nominated charities, including this trip to the Weston Park Cancer Centre.
Pouting hell. Looks like Daniel Craig, but you know, like Bond when he does the pout.
Yes, Max. Are you looking dark there?
Isn't it?
That must be pre-season or first game of the season.
You look like you got bronzer on. His cheeks.
His cheeks, man. That's definitely a tan. Been on the sunbed. Cheese.
Oh, look at him without the beard, bro. Mad.
Looks 12.
It's gone from
mad, isn't it?
From an 8 to a 7.
We're going to head up to Weston Park Cancer Centre, which is a cancer specialist hospital. We're going to start in the teenage unit, so we've got some patients who have come in, especially to meet you guys, to get some photos, give them some goodies.
That's brilliant. What a good idea things behind. Without knocking it over. We might think our football team will be playing you in a couple of years' time. I'm not holding your breath. Chesterfield.
Got a long way to go, Chesterfield.
We'll get that one day.
Yeah, you want a retro shirt there? Yeah, magic. There you go. Merry Christmas. Going once, going twice.
Mumsy, do you want
Great Escape. Which one? MW2. Great Escape.
Oh, Johnny Egan's favourite, yeah.
They're the enemy, Cole. They look Sheffield Wednesday, don't they?
Oh.
Some heartwarming images and pictures there from the recent trip to the Weston Park Cancer Centre. Among the Sheffield United players that were involved in that, Wes Fodringham, Enda Stevens, Max Lowe, Jayden Bogle, Reda Kadra and Bex Rayner. Ben, I know that you also visited the Princess Royal Spinal Cord Injuries Centre. Just talk to us a little bit about the impact that has on you and indeed for the players that have made other visits as well.
Yeah, it's amazing, to be honest. Obviously, we get to do it once a year. It's been a few years since we've done it, to be fair, because of COVID. But the first time I've been to a spinal unit like that, and I went with, there was me, Jebison, Tommy Doyle and McAtee, plus a couple of staff members, including the gaffer. But it was just speaking to the staff and everything, it was unbelievable, really. There were two types of people there, people that have been like paralysed from the neck down. So they're on ventilators and, you know, trying to rehab them, and then people that are paralysed from like the waist down. And just listening to the work that they do there and seeing the place and speaking to a few people in there, it was good to try and, you know, I think it was just a case of breaking up the day for some of them and, you know, trying to bring a little bit of joy, and got involved with a bit of like the wheelchair elephant ball, it was called, a bit of wheelchair rugby. So yeah, it was it's an unbelievable experience. But you know, anything that we raise to go towards helping them out is priceless for them.
I mean, we see you and the guys in action on the field week in, week out. And I know every Christmas, football clubs make a point of getting out into the community, going to the local hospitals, visiting patients in there. Are you ever ceased to be amazed, though, at the spirit they have and how much impact you guys have just by making the effort to go and see them? Yeah,
that's it. Like it is inspiring at the end of the day. You know, some people have had horrendous accidents that we went to see. But, you know, you get on with it and you try your best to rehab and you know, slowly improve day by day. I mean, some people are in there for over a year. So, yeah, it is inspiring, and I'm sure especially the young lads that I went with, it was their first time, and I think it probably had an effect on them.
That's fantastic, absolutely. For those of you that were here for the Rotherham game a month or so ago now, you might recall that there was a bucket collection on that night. I'm delighted to say that £3,500 was raised that evening, and that was spread evenly amongst the charities that the club supports, affected by cancer across South Yorkshire, North Derbyshire and North Nottinghamshire. Truly inspirational stuff, and every donation matters. Certainly we can say that for sure. Okay, let's focus a little bit more on today's game and those that are coming up in the near future, because over this festive period, the games come thick and fast. After today, Sheffield United are back in action on Thursday, 8:15 kickoff for that trip to Bloomfield Road to take on Blackpool. We're on air from 7:30. And then in a week's time, we're back at Queen's Park Rangers. Another evening kickoff there, SUTV live on air from 7 p.m. Before attention turns to the FA Cup, third round, Sheffield United on the road at Millwall. Kickoff for that one is at 3 p.m. Now, Christmas might be behind us, albeit just the 24 hours or so, but there are still gifts to be bought if you need them, or in fact, if you've seen something you like and no one got it for you, go and buy it yourself. You can do that by going to the club store here at Bramall Lane, or go online at sufcdirect.co.uk. Take a look at this. Now, regular viewers to SUTV Live will know as the season's progressed, the smile on Carla Saba's face has turned a little bit upside down. You're still smiling now, Carla. It's good to see. Do not fear. We come bringing glad tidings of great joy. We have found a goal. No, two that Carl scored in a Sheffield United shirt. This afternoon's classic match takes us back to the 02-03 season when the Blades were taking on Leicester City, and Carla Saba proved to be the difference.
Following a disappointing defeat at Preston, the Blades faced Leicester and produced another edition of the Late Late Show.
Benjamin, well, he held off Peter Undlove there, and there's been a lot of talk about raised arms in the game at the moment. This is Stewart pulling it back across, looking for Dickoff. Benjamin clips it in, and Dean scores! Saba's managed to keep that one in, and he's found Tong. He's got to get past Elliott and has. Pull back, Asaba! It's in! Somehow he squeezes it in past Ian Walker.
Throw it. Decided to play on. As it comes down here, Sissy Carlos. I don't think that's gone out, but look at Andrew Impey. Bad defending from him. He should play the whistle, make sure he gets back into position. Great footwork from Michael Tong. Picks out Asaba, goes past the Leicester defenders like they're not there. And the finish is sublime. He's good power in it. It's at the near post, but Ian Walker, the Leicester keeper, has got no chance. Just the power of the shot. Looks like it goes through his legs into the back of the net. Just the response Sheffield United and Neil Warnock wanted. His side are back in this game.
Retrieve it and does against Elliott. Now Brown inside Impey. Asaba forward in support. Brown! Jagielka's free kick. Windass. Asaba and oh, what a stunning effort! Would have been a glorious goal had that come off. Undlove. Michael Brown. Is he going to line up especially? He is! It's just wide. In fact, he got a touch on the way through. Corner.
Good strike from Brown, wasn't it? 30 yards out here. I think it's Undlove that just slides the ball to him. No real pressure on him from the Leicester defenders. Just comes off Jordan Stewart, I think.
Murphy! And Asaba turns it in! Would you believe it? Possibly the last second of the game. A Carl Asaba double has put Sheffield United so close to a playoff place.
To the far post. Sean Murphy with the header. Carl Asaba just comes in and gets the slightest touch and really couldn't miss from 6 inches out. And it's all 3 points to Sheffield United.
Cometh the hour, cometh the man, Carl Asaba, and as Ben Osborne's just said, you don't save them, Carl.
Yeah, but I do. I've missed many of those before, so I think we're all in shock I got it in.
Talk us through the process when you half an inch out. Get the eyes, or?
No, don't miss it, Carl. Don't miss it, Carl. Don't. That's all that happens. And in front of the cop, just a great feeling.
It's funny, Ben, because you turned around mid-highlights, and I'm sure games were more exciting in those days, were they, Carl?
Well, the pitches were bobbly. You didn't know where it was going to hit you in the shin, anything. It was good, lively matches. And as I said, Leicester had been promoted just before that game, so it was all the emphasis was on us to get the points and get clinch playoffs.
So surfaces are good excuses, aren't they?
Always. Even on a snooker pitch, I could find a bobble.
Well, there'll be no bobble on this surface out there. It looks like a carpet. And to be fair to the ground staff, Ben, it's provided a good surface all season long.
Yeah, it's been all right. I think they had a lot of action out on there over the summer as well. But we trained on it not long ago. It was a little bit more bobbly than usual, but I think it should be good today.
It's all right. Ground staff won't be listening. We never said anything. Nothing to see here. Let's take a look at the team news again. We brought it to you just at the top of the show. So to recap, for Sheffield United, just the one change in the starting 11. Max Lowe playing for the first time, or starting for the first time, I should say, since picking up an injury at Hull in September. He starts at left wing back with Enda Stevens making way and dropping down to the bench. Unsurprising, really, chaps, given the form Sheffield United are in, you're not going to make a whole raft of changes, not at this stage at least.
No, I think as well that it's been a week since the last game. Probably no need really. If the games will come in every 2 or 3 days, which they're probably likely to now, then you'd look to maybe change it a little bit more. But I think everyone should be fresh and ready to go, and you want to keep the momentum of a winning team.
Let's talk a little bit about Ollie Norwood, Carl, because 450 league appearances. This will be his 181st for Sheffield United. He is a cornerstone of this team.
He's incredible. His technique is brilliant when I'm on the radio, because I'm going through the dictionary finding out different words for incredible, because his distribution, his vision, his technique, it's just brilliant. Every match he plays some pass that normal players can't play. I couldn't have played in my day. He's a rare talent, and thankfully the Blades fans recognise this now. You know, last season there'd be murmurs if he gave the ball away. He gives it away once or twice, playing 13, but he does not just playing simple balls. He's playing the most difficult balls, opening up the team. He's a linchpin, and you know, the conductor and everything, the orchestra. So he is a great player, and I'm so happy he's here.
What makes him so special?
Like Carl said, there's not many that can ping a ball like him. Yeah, it's just consistency, the way he strikes it. If he's got, you know, 2 yards space around him, he can literally put it anywhere. So a lot of our game is making runs off him, but you know, gets back the pitch as well and puts tackles in, wins the ball, and obviously scored a couple of goals this season as well.
It's that ability to change play, isn't he? He consistently hits those 30, 40-yard passes, and they find their target more often than not.
Yeah, I think the way we play, that's the big part. It makes the other team work when you've got it's going out one side, and then he might be pinging one over to George on the right, and they all have to switch over, and then it could come back to him, and then it's bang out the other side. Just makes the pitch really big and gives us a chance to work our overloads.
We've got a little under 25 minutes to kick off here at Bramall Lane. It is a sellout crowd, a full house on hand for this Boxing Day encounter, and Coventry City provide the opposition a banging form Coventry City team. If we take a look at their last 5 games, just 1 defeat, 3 wins, but they've won 5 of their last 7. It's a remarkable turnaround, isn't it, for a team that I know they had issues at the start of the season, but they went the first 7 games without a win. I think they only had 3 draws. And to find where they are now, they started to stay, I think, 8th in the table. Mark Robbins has done an incredible job.
He's done a great job. And last season, our toughest matches were against Coventry. I just don't think they've got the squad depth that like we have. You know, if they miss 2 or 3 players, they're not able to pull in a Kadra, a Bashamas. They haven't got that on the bench. Their striker in Gorkarez, for me, he's the best striker not at this club in this division for the last 2 seasons. I think he's outstanding. Here he played 60 minutes and he ran us ragged. You know, it's not what he does with the ball. Off the ball, he's working the defenders with his runs in the channel. He's strong. So this is a real tough match, but the manager's aware of that. You know, it's the only match this season I felt we didn't go to actually win. If we nicked the win, it would have been great, but I think we went just to stop any loss of momentum. We just went for a draw, and you know, that's full respect to them.
Let's take a look at their starting 11 then. It's an unchanged, not just 11, unchanged bench as well. Hardly surprising for a team that have won 5 of their last 7. I think from that last graphic, Ben, of the last 5 games, the other thing that stood out was 3 clean sheets. They're not an easy side to breach.
No, they're not, and that's something, you know, we've struggled with when we played them recently. I think the game earlier on in the season, it's probably fair that we were fairly happy with the point. Obviously ended up losing it. But yeah, they don't give up many chances. They don't really put it at risk in their half as much. They play when it gets into the opposition half, and they have got energy and a striker that can hold the ball up and runners off him. But yeah, I don't think we'll see them risking it too much.
Well, let's discuss Victor Gyökeres just for a while, because he is the Championship's top scorer with 11 goals in this season from 22 games. He's scored 6 in their last 6 league games. Carl clearly rates him very highly. What's been the opinion and talk about him this week?
Yeah, well, I mean, we did it before we played him last season and this season as well. He's direct. He likes to play in that left channel almost and cut in on his right foot and get shots off, and a lot of his goals are from there. But yeah, he's consistently performed at this level for a couple of seasons now. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for the centre halves today.
In midfield, Carl, Gustavo Harmer, he tends to be involved both good and bad. He's had a couple of red cards this season, but he has assists. He's scored some goals as well. Is he their equivalent of Ollie Norwood?
Well, he's their engine room. I don't think he's got the range, anywhere near the range of passing as Norwood. And they don't play expansive like we do. You know, they play a lot shorter. But he is a key player in their midfield. And we're going to have to be on our mettle for this match, because he is a tough operator.
And they do have that 2-pronged attacking midfield role, if you like, of Jamie Allen and Callum O'Hare, that played just off Gyökeres as well. It's going to be a challenge, isn't it? Whichever way you dress this up for the Blades defensively today, they're going to have to be on their mettle.
Yeah, they've got runners. I think that's why they did well against us last season. away from home. They just had a load of energy in that midfield, and they were running off us. So, you know, it's up to Ollie, Sander and Maka to first of all match them today and make sure they're not running beyond them, and then take them back the other way as well, and hopefully our quality will come through. They're a good side, but I still feel like we've got more.
Absolutely, and we certainly hope that that is the case. Now, we've already said on several occasions it's a sellout crowd here at Bramall Lane today, so you can look for match pass information by going to the club's website, sufc.co.uk. But also amongst this sellout crowd is a championship winner in the form of golfer Matt Fitzpatrick, a self-confessed die-hard Blades fan. We've had him on the show before when he's been right out there on the West Coast in America, in LA. Well, today, complete with his major US Open trophy in hand, he is on hand to see the Blades firsthand for himself, and I caught up with him a little early this afternoon. Well, Boxing Day is a sporting occasion for every fan, and I've got a big one with me now. Matt Fitzpatrick, great to see you actually here in Sheffield as opposed to across the pond in the States, and you've got a fairly special present there as well.
I do, yeah. I brought it to a day out of Bramall Lane,
that means a lot to anyone. It means a lot to you, doesn't it? Your first major trophy. Have you had it with you ever since last June?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. It's been here, there and everywhere, and I spent a bit of time in Sheffield over Christmas, and it'll be going back with me so I can look after it for another 6 months.
For those viewers that aren't avid golf fans, this is the US Open trophy. If the Blades could add a championship trophy of their own, it'd be a very good 12 months, wouldn't it?
It would be, yeah. Obviously, great start to the season so far, and hopefully keep it up today and get a good result.
Of course, playing golf, you spend most of your time in the States now. How much time do you get to actually watch the Blades in action?
A lot online. Unfortunately, not very often I'm here to watch in person, but online I try not to miss a game unless I'm actually playing on the golf course. But yeah, as much as I possibly can.
With the time difference, that must mean some early mornings or late nights?
Yeah, early starts normally. So it's quite nice. I get up in the morning and watch United, and then I can go about my day.
And presumably that's good when the Blades win, not so good if they don't.
Yeah.
Are you a grumpy fan if we lose?
Yeah, I would say so. Kind of ruins the day. But yeah, it's always good to watch them, and like I say, it's nice to kind of get up early, start the day with watching us get a win. Hopefully.
And at half time, you're going to get to show the trophy off to the crowd here. Sell-out crowd as well. You picked a good one. Are you hoping for a win? What do you expect?
Yeah, I think so. I think when we played Coventry last, it was a tough game. I think they only just got over the line to beat us. So I think hopefully we can turn it around at home today in front of a big crowd.
Well, we're delighted that you're here with us. Not often we see you suited and booted, but great for the occasion. I believe you fly back to the States in the next couple of days, don't you?
Yes, I do. Back to work, if you can call it that.
Well, absolutely. Well, let's hope we can send you off with a Blades win as well. Great to see you, Matt.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah,
Great to see Matt Fitzpatrick in person down here at the Lane. Looking forward to this afternoon's game. Not letting that US Open trophy go anywhere. Certainly not out of his sight. And why would he, quite frankly? So from a top marksman on the golf course to a top marksman on the football pitch, Billy Sharp took his time to get his goal-scoring boots on this season, but it's 2 in 2 for him now. And we sat down with him in an SUTV Live exclusively leading up to this game. Our own Matt Young asked him what it's like to be back amongst the goals.
Yeah, I had to be patient. Obviously, Ollie Mack and Illiman have been doing great and scoring the goals, and I found it hard to get in the team. So, but I've started the last 3 games and really enjoyed it, and feel as though I'm up to speed now. And that's all I needed, really, a few games. And we've been winning games, so I've been having to play my part off the bench. But yeah, nice to get in the goals, and obviously goals that are helping us win points as well, which is more important.
I understand it might be frustrating when you're on the bench, but do you have to console yourself with the fact that Ollie and Illiman are in the goals and you've just got to be patient in that aspect?
Yeah, I've obviously done it to a lot of people in my career where I've kept people on the bench, so yeah, it's happened to me before in my career, but yeah, everyone wants to play every game, but I'm involved in a winning team, and obviously I've had my chance the last 3 games and been able to take it, but like I say, I think I feel up to speed now. I've had obviously a couple of injuries that slowed me down a little bit, and I feel I'm over them now, and I'm back in with the goals as well, which helps confidence, and is helping the team, which I'm obviously really pleased about.
I know you'll take a goal however it comes, but you must be really pleased with the 2 strikes. Proper Billy Sharp goals, weren't they, the last 2?
Yeah, 2 left footers. No, I was happy with the Huddersfield one. Obviously the space was in behind the goalkeeper. We do a lot of work analysis-wise, and I realised that there was space behind him, whether to take it round him or lift it over him. So I enjoyed that one, obviously, to get the first of the season, and obviously enjoyed the one the other night with a few of the lads saying I closed my eyes and swung at it. But no, I caught it pretty nicely, and caught the keeper off guard, saved it early, and it was a nice goal for me, that one, because obviously he called my granddad's hero, and I can set my sights on other people now.
Yeah, I was just coming to that on level with Jimmy Hague, and it's something that's been perhaps in the back of your mind for a few months now, that one, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'd like to have got that a few months ago, but like I say, I've had to be patient, and no, it was a big milestone for me personally. So yeah, my granddad used to go on about him all the time, and it's just a shame that he wasn't here to see that, but he'll be proud of me, I'm sure. And like I say, I'm trying to set my sights now on Billy Gillespie and Fred Tunstall, which I'm sure I can get.
I imagine your granddad was a big influence in your career.
Yeah, he always used to go on about the greats for Sheffield United, and then obviously my dad's told me his favourites, and obviously now I'm following in their footsteps, and yeah, it is surreal sometimes. I'm just a Sheffield lad chasing my dream, and I've managed to do it, which is nice when I see milestones like what I saw the other night. I won't be catching Harry, that's for sure, but I'll be 45 if I had to do that. But yeah, I'd like to catch a few more people and get myself up the rankings in Sheffield United's all-time top goal scorers.
When we talk about the goal milestones, but 350 appearances as well for Sheffield United, must be proud of that achievement too.
Yeah, I didn't actually realise that. My dad didn't even pre-warn me either, so he quickly told me afterwards. But yeah, that was, again, to play once, and 10 times Sheffield United is a real honour, but to do it 350 times is yeah, it's amazing. Personally, for me, it's a big achievement, and hopefully I want to try and get many more as well.
Great to hear from the club captain, Billy Sharp, looking happy, looking confident. Ben Osborne, is there a more natural finisher in the Championship than Billy Sharp?
No, I don't think so. I think out of everyone that I've played with, he's got to be right up there. I can remember at Forest when I was there and he came on loan, I can remember thinking in training then he was like dinking keepers and stuff, and I'd never seen someone just finish so naturally than him. And obviously coming here, it's just, yeah, I'm seeing it all over again.
Still one of the best in the league, isn't he?
Oh, by far. He was in the youth team when I was here, and he was a whippersnapper who just wanted to score in training. He chased the ball so relentlessly, wanting to score. The last 2 finishes I just think have been brilliant because they're on his wrong foot and everything. He just slowed down time. On the first goal, didn't rush, took his time, concentrated, and the finish was sublime, a little dink. Then the second one, it's the footwork. The pass from Njai was great, but he pulled it across himself with his right foot, and then the footwork was just brilliant to then be able to strike it so cleanly into the corner. No, he's a wonderful person and a great goal scorer.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 in 2 for Billy Sharp coming into this game. Coventry City, the Boxing Day visitors, to a sellout Bramall Lane this afternoon. Of course, we've spoken at length about the troubles they had off the field, certainly at the start of the season. But Kieran Clark, speaking to us in the build-up to today's game, was much more keen to focus on their form coming into it.
Yeah, on the pitch, they've picked up and looked really good. Everyone knows the start they had to the season with the games and whatever, but no, they're a really good side, and we've looked into them this week and preparing as best we can for them, and yeah, obviously looking at them, but we're obviously looking at ourselves as well. So it should be an interesting game.
Do you find yourself doing things any differently as a footballer or within the squad because of the workload essentially over the course of this period?
I don't know. To be honest, the break it's obviously been a weird season.
Yeah.
Weird season. We had the break, and then we had, was it 9 days after the last game, the game before the next one, and so it hasn't seemed too much of a build-up yet. Whereas usually, in December it's just chaos.
You're
really.
halfway tired anyway. Yeah.
So at the minute, I think everyone feels all right, and I think this will obviously be the test now this next week with the amount of games coming up. So I think everyone's feeling good, and no, I think we're just, like I said, we're just preparing for the games, recovering, preparing, and doing as much as we can to be ready for that game.
The thoughts there of Kieran Clark. Mr. Composure, I think, Carl, judging by the relaxed nature of that interview that he gave us. We're going to allow you to scoot off now to take your position in the commentary box for today's game. But with, 8 minutes to go to kick off, how do you see it panning out today?
It's going to be a tough game, but with Max Lowe giving us another option for Norwood to hit and just make us two-pronged down at each wing, I think we'll have enough at home. I think it'll be a tough 2-1.
2-1, close game, but 3 points?
Yeah, well, definitely.
Oh, definitely, says Carla Saba. Right, we'll hear from you shortly. Of course, Coventry City are the one team that have given Paul Heckingbottom a few issues. Just the 1 point taken from the last 3 encounters between these two teams for the Blades. And when we caught up with him a couple of days ago, he was keen to focus on how impressive their recent form has been.
Yeah, one of the best. One of the best. Like I say, I think when I spoke to you about them before, and I said I think it was the fact they had games called off which gave them the slow start and suffered for it. I think been proved right with that. They're right up there in terms of form, showing they're one of the best sides with themselves. So I'm expecting one of the toughest games we're going to have this season. I was at the game the other night, and a good, really competitive, energetic game between them and West Brom. And that is, I think, what they are, Coventry. They're a really tough team to play against who cause you problems. No matter who they cause you problems, and we're going to have to be at our best. We've got to break down a defence that keeps a lot of clean sheets and keep out an attacking team that, regardless of quality of chances, have efforts on goal.
You will have perhaps come to expect that from a kind of Mark Robins side. Those type of assessments have been there for quite a while now.
Yeah, listen, I'm not commenting on other teams. This team I've seen now evolve and grow for a long time. And I remember chatting to him before I was in this seat about when I saw him play when they first came up. And they brought an energy and an enthusiasm which teams can do. But for me, they've developed it, and they've got some good players. And a clear way that they want to play. Like I say, we know the threats, we understand them. And we've got to be at our best to deal with that, and also at our best, I think, to cause them as many problems as we like to do. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be a really good game.
The thoughts of manager Paul Heckingbottom heading into this game. Kick-off at Bramall Lane is just 6 minutes away. It's a sellout down here at the stadium, so a reminder that if you do want to watch today's game, to find details on how to purchase a match pass, go to the club's website, sufc.co.uk, and all the information you need will be right there at your fingertips. Ben Osborne is still alongside me. Ben, having listened there to the manager, this is clearly a team he has the utmost respect for.
Well, yeah, definitely. That's just because of, I think, past performances against them. They have made it difficult for us. They play a similar kind of formation to us, but they play it completely different. So, it'll be a good test for us, but I think we've learnt from previous lessons and the form that we're in. I know they're in good form as well, but it could be a real statement today if we get a good win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we've mentioned the fact that it's just 1 point from the last 3 meetings for the Blades against Coventry. But here at home, unbeaten in the last 5 games against Coventry. I think you have to go all the way back to 2012-13 to find the last time Coventry came away from here with all 3 points. What is the key to breaking down this Coventry City side? Because, as you say, it's a similar formation, but played in a very different way with a different emphasis.
I think we've just got to start quick and use the energy at Bramall Lane and the atmosphere to really drive us on. And I think if we score first half and take the lead, then it can open up for us, and it can be a more comfortable afternoon. But they're going to make it difficult. They might slow it down at the start. I don't think they're going to be as expansive as they are when we play them at their place. But yeah, I think the key for us today is a real fast start, getting the wing backs forward, balls into the box, and getting Illiman and Sharpie touching the ball early doors.
How important is composure going to be? Because we've seen in recent games, teams tend to put 10, 11 men behind the ball. There's clearly a great respect, for the sake of a better phrase, for the way Sheffield United play, but it does pose different problems for us.
Yeah, we need composure, but we need to move it quick as well. I think first half against Huddersfield, they put a load of men behind the ball, but we moved it so quick, and because we're moving it so fast, we were finding gaps and creating chances. Second half, we didn't move it as quick. That's when it became a little bit more of an even game. But yeah, I think that's what we need to do today.
Well, it's a great spectacle as we look behind us out of the studio window here. A sellout crowd inside Bramall Lane. It's intimidating for anyone. It's important we use this in our favour, isn't it, going into the game? How do you see it panning out?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I think if we start fast and get a goal first half, I'd fancy us to win possibly 2-0. But, you know, I think we've got to match them first and foremost. And
we'll take 2-0.
Yeah.
Ben Osborne says 2-0. Carlos Saba says 2-1. Either way, we're going for 3 points. Without further ado, let's hand you over to the match commentary team as the players take to the field. In a moment, you'll hear from Carlos Saba once again. But first of all, as always, here's Matt Young.